Hello, investors and traders, and welcome to this episode of Technical Tuesday, where today we're going to be talking about the different ways you could set a stop and trail that stop, not just to protect profits when a trade goes your way, but to limit loss when the market starts moving against you. This is a chart of Pfizer Inc., ticker symbol PFE, and as you can see here from my daily candle chart, now, if you go to your drawing tools right here, you start by drawing the trend line. Now, if you're not quite sure how to draw a trend line, let me just say it's not as complicated as you might think. Your eye is basically scanning these lows here, and you can see that the stock is in an upward trend where we have higher lows followed by what? Higher highs down the road here. So that by definition is an upward trend. However, when I connect these lows from here to here to here and draw that out, a channel line would be drawn parallel to this, connecting the highs. Let me show you how the channel tool works for you. So again, you click on the drawing tool. You could pick any one of these lows. I'm picking this most noticeable one here from a low in May, and I'm drawing that out to this low right here in August. I'm going to pass through that, connect it to the low in October. And what I'm doing is I'm connecting as many of those lows as I possibly can. And then I drop the line. Now, for the engineers out there who need the lines to touch perfectly, you have to understand I'm an aerospace engineer by education. I know what you're going through there with the perfection needed before you could do anything. But you don't have to be that perfect. You don't have to be that exact when drawing that trend line. However, when you drop the channel line, you'll see that this expands, running exactly parallel. You could pick any of these highs. I could pick that high here. I could pick that high. I could even go so far and pick that high, but I'm trying to get the mean, right? I'm trying to connect as many of these highs or come as close as I can to those highs. Remember, when a stock is in an upward trend, it's the trend line. I'll put TL here. The trend line is the most important part of the drawing because that's tracking who is more or less in control of the price action. So if I decide to buy, because this is showing an inverted hammer right there, I would go ahead and buy if that's what you're committed to doing, but you have to immediately put a stop loss order somewhere below the trend line or somewhere below a key support level. Again, I'm using this trend line as the area of support. Now, another thing you have to remember when setting a stop is that you don't want to put the stop loss order on the trend line. You most definitely don't want to put the stop loss order above the trend line. And while you do want to put the stop loss order somewhere below the trend line, you want to give it enough room for the stock to breathe, as I usually say. So I'm going to put that stop somewhere down here. Why am I putting it down there and not right up to that trend line? Because I'm looking to the left here at that most noticeable support level. Now, although the trend line is acting as support, this level here will also act as a support level. If the stock, in fact, breaks down or breaks out below that trend line, it may very well find that support level here, because if you've been following along with our educational videos, you'll know that there's a gap over here where 80% of the time gaps fill, but what happens after gaps fill? 80% of the time, prices reverse and go back up. So this is a time-tested support level that we have right there. So again, I'm putting my stop somewhere below that low, but as the stock starts to move up, I have to move my stop up with the price of the stock to protect my profits. Now, as time goes on, and let's say I'm looking to keep this trade for a while, if the stock continues to bounce off of the support level like this, I'm going to be moving my stop up each time it tests that new support level at the higher level. If it goes higher and pivots up, I'm going to move that stop up once again to the next higher level. So as time continues to pass and as the markets continue to oscillate, I'm moving my stop up based on that channel, which remember, when a stock is in an upward sloping channel, the line at the bottom is the trend line. The line parallel to that is the channel line. Now let's take a look at another stock. Let's use MCD as an example. Here's McDonald's. All right, now the channel isn't as noticeable as what we saw in Pfizer. Now, you could draw a trend line from here to here and project that out. Or what you could do is go back in time and look at some of the videos that we talk about just straight support levels or role reversal support levels. In this example, what I'm doing is I'm looking to draw a horizontal line from this low here as my guide for managing risk. Why am I picking that low? Because it's a noticeable low, once again, at a gap fill point. Let me magnify that for you so you can see. That is a gap that was open, it did fill, then it reversed and went the other way after the gap filled. Now we see that happen quite often. You can see back here was a gap, and what happened after that gap filled? It reversed and went the other way. So back here, if you were back in time at this particular pivot point and you put a stop in below that support level, you would have done fairly well as the stock moved up. Now in this instance, we don't have a trend line to base our stops off of with regard to trailing the stop. So I have to do a little bit more in-depth analysis when it comes to the charts. So let's use this as an example. This is my key support level from the low here back in October, but we do have a pivot point here recently that's prompting me to take a new long position. So let's say I take a buy position right here. Now, this is an expensive stock, but it doesn't matter what the price is. I'm just using this as an example. Let's say I buy the stock right around $300 a share. I'm putting my stop somewhere below the most recent low here. Again, giving it some room to breathe, so to speak. Now, let's say the stock moves up and starts trading above that 20-period moving average, which is the blue line here, and starts moving towards this gap fill target area here. What am I going to do with my stop that's way down there? Well, I have to move it up. Now, where do I move it up to? Well, if it starts moving above that 20-period moving average, I could now move that stop up to a level just below the 20-period moving average. Now I've protected myself in the event the gap fills and starts to come back down. I at least protect that small profit that is built into that trade. Let's take a look at another very popular stock. Let's look at Lululemon. All right, I'm using this as an example to show you how important stop loss orders are for managing risk, especially in a stock like this that's taken a nosedive. All right, now let's take a look at this area right here. Let's say that you like that area right there because you see a hammer candle. So you buy it right on that hammer. Where are you going to put your stop? Well, we don't have a clear level of support that we could gauge our stop loss order at, but we do have the bottom of that shadow on that candle. Remember, a hammer candle is a small body candle with a shadow underneath the body of that candle that's 1.5 to 2 times the length of the body. Now, I do want to put my stop somewhere below the bottom or the low of that particular trading day, but I don't want to put it too close either. But I do put my stop in, the stock starts to go up, and look what's happening here. It's hitting the 20-period moving average, and I look down below and I see the CCI starting to turn lower. Now, this isn't an automatic trailing stop. This is where you have to make the decision to move your stop manually because you start to see a pivot forming right as the price is hitting that 20-period moving average. Now, I can only tell you what I would do. At that point, if I have my stop somewhere below the low of that initial hammer candle right there, and I start to see the stock pivoting back from that 20-period moving average with the oscillators starting to turn down both on the stochastic and the CCI, I can tell you right now with confidence, I'd be taking the profit and moving the money out of that stock. I wouldn't even be trailing the stop up. I'd just be looking for the pivot to take my profit and I'd be on my merry way. Now, I could spend at least an hour doing this with you, no kidding, with different ticker symbols. But what I would say is practice. Start trading on paper with no risk. If you're brand new to trading and you've never put a stop loss order into a system in your life, then paper trading is the way to go, because you're basically putting in hypothetical trades. Practicing this over and over and over again till you reach a level of consistency that you feel comfortable with will absolutely help you in two ways. Remember, you're eliminating the possibility of a catastrophic loss because you are protecting yourself with a stop loss order. But number two, you're doing yourself a great favor by trailing the stop up to protect your profits. It's very important that you don't turn a winner into a loser. Go back and listen to some of the other videos that we have with regard to how to trade the 20-period moving average using the Jim Roebuck method. You could also look at some of the other educational videos we have with regard to how to trade the gaps. You could also look at one of the more recent educational videos that talks about the role reversal and how to set stops using a horizontal line to measure support. And then over time, you get all this great educational content, and then when you feel comfortable enough and you have enough confidence, then you flick the switch and you start trading very small positions so that you're not risking anything, and then you build up. As you gradually learn and build that confidence, you could increase the size of your positions without putting yourself into a position that's putting too much risk on the table. And I say you must be comfortable doing this. If you're not comfortable, then just continue to paper trade until you are comfortable. But I'm telling you something, once you put real money at risk, the market will start teaching you things that I cannot, nor will any educational video be able to teach you. You have to learn from that experience. And if you're using the 1% rule to set your stops in place, and we have that video available as well, you're not going to be subjecting yourself to, like I said before, a catastrophic loss. And that will give you that peace of mind to move forward in the market and trade with confidence. So that's it for now. Have a good rest of the week, and we'll talk to you on the next Technical Tuesday video. So long.